I think the lack of accountability is leading to so much unhappiness. Like life is so much better when you're like, this was my fault.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're in control.
Yeah.
And so like, you know, this was like a wrap up to control. You're in control. You decide what you consume. You decide what you believe. You decide who you surround yourself with. You decide what you put out. Take on accountability.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to blame right now. The algorithm, they're acting as the algorithms are like hypnosis. And I understand endorphin hits and all that, but like you can delete the app. You can. Like where's accountability in this?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like we have alcohol, we have tobacco, we have drugs, we have weapons, and we have all sorts of issues, but most people play within moderation. That's on you.
Yeah. And it's a tough truth, right? It's a tough truth.
Especially when you're unhappy.
Yeah.
That goes back to why it's important. It's like the chicken and egg. It's like working out. Like I got into better shape the last 8 years. Nothing comes less natural to me.
Yeah, tell me.
Nothing comes less natural to me.
I can relate to you,
right?
Man.
But like I was like, I just would like to live longer.
Yes.
I would just like to live longer.
Yeah.
And go figure. It's not apple cider gummies. It's not steroids. It's not implants. I've thought about it. I'm like, can I get chest implants? I put in a lot of work. I feel like I've like Seth's good. Like I feel like I've done more than Seth, but like my body type, like, you know, and I'm like, I probably haven't, but no, it's like eat well, go in the gym, do the right things. And so same for life, you know, whether it's meditation, whether it's exercise, whether it's therapy, whether it's good conversations, whether it's surrounding, you know, back to us not having the serendipity, you know, we've had some meals, we've had some interactions. They're always like, they're nice.
We need more.
I would like that.
Yeah,
and we'll build on that. I think, you know, I'm spending more time thinking about spending more time with more while doubling down on core, you know? You know, because I did a really good job in the last 10 years of doubling down on core, but I think being as busy and I love what I do, you know, I really do want to build out more of a friend network. I want to take more people from lightweight acquaintance to solid acquaintance. I want to take people from acquaintance to friend, from friend to best friend. And so I'm on a journey like everybody else, but I think that, I think, believe it or not, and this is going to sound so crazy for so many, the world actually has so much potential for everybody listening to be the best time to be alive. Medicine and technology, and there's so much, but we're caught right now. It's like a hamster wheel. We're in the momentum of focusing on, you know, the bad. Yeah. And there's always bad. Yeah. The Holocaust was bad. Genocide is always going on. Genghis Khan was not a fun time to be a human. Yeah. Like, you know, like we are very bad at history. I was a really bad student, but I did well in history. Like, but that starts with you. What are you gonna do about it? Because right now everyone's like pointing and feels like it's on someone else. Yeah. It starts with ourselves.
I mean, when you said that and you brought up the Holocaust, I recently read Edith Eger's book, The Gift. She lived through the Holocaust. And she had that mindset in the Holocaust. So she said the only way she got through it is she realized that she wasn't a prisoner, that the only prisoners were the guards, because they were prisoners of their own conscience.
Unbelievable.
That was her mindset.
She's right.
And you know, she's like over 90 now or even older, and it's like, it's just phenomenal that her, Viktor Frankl, who wrote Man's Search for Meaning, these two phenomenal books, if anyone hasn't read them, like they had that in that scenario.
Well, that's the point I always make to everybody. Like, you know, the only thing that works for me is trying to contextualize moments in time. Yeah. And like, you know, our great-great-great-grandparents had it rough by comparison to the way we have it. And sure, they had some things that were better on simplicity, but we must choose optimism, because what's the alternative? Yeah. Pessimism? Like, are you just gonna decide? Because once you decide, where are you? Once you decide it's bad, it's actually bad. And so like, one of the things that makes me very passionate to communicate is practical optimism, or the fact that I believe negativity is much better at marketing than positivity.
Oh, for sure.
I feel a huge sense of responsibility.
What has become, out of all the things you've pursued, because I'm guessing at different stages in your life, and anyone who hasn't heard, I've interviewed Gary twice before, so you can go back and listen to those. You've pursued different things at different times. And every time I meet you, it's a really, what I love about it is that you just, there's so much growth and acceptance and embracing of this new you. Every time we talk, I feel like I'm talking to a even more self-aware human, which is a really fun feeling when you're checking in with someone in this way. And so I go, what have you found currently to be the most worthy pursuit? Like, what is it that you're pursuing that you've found worthy of pursuit?
It's always been the same thing for me. It's almost as if I'm living two separate lives. The most worthy pursuit is I am wildly gifted at helping other people. And I'm incredibly comfortable of also being okay with feeding myself around my own interests. The most worthwhile pursuit, my friend, I think this is gonna land with you, is the continuous balance beam that I walk on that is called equal parts selfish and equal parts selfless, and refining that skill set. And I think in the 3 times, if I may, off of your analogy, I think the beam is getting thinner and I'm still walking it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe the first time we met, it was like an Olympic beam or a high school beam. Maybe the second time was, my hope is that as I continue to go, I'll be on a tightrope across Manhattan and walk it easily, because me playing my game of entrepreneurship gives me so much energy that I'm able to deploy it in a positive manner at scale. And I find it fascinating. And so that is what I continue to go after. And my number one advice to millennials in the way that you asked it is to not rely on parents. And then number 2, to quantify time. We actually have our whole lives backwards. You should be doing the most high risk, high reward work from 20 to 30. The problem is that's when everybody expects you to grow up. I think, and grow up has transferred in our modern society to safe. I think that everybody under 30 should be tasting everything to get a better sense of what they're interested in. So I'd like you to call your parents and tell them, if they are, or they may not be, I don't want any more money from you. And then I want you, and then I want you to go on a plane and go to Scotland for no reason. Listen, I get tens of thousands of DMs from kids that are in their 20s and 30s that have deep underlying resentment and depression because their parents are quietly paying for their lives. Which I then tell them, like, don't take the money, jerk. But there's almost nothing worse than a parent subsidizing secretly their child's grown-up life. It will eventually be exposed and talked about, and I can't wait, because a lot of the underlying depression that is confusing people is actually coming from those sources. And it's even scarier when you dig underneath it, because what you start realizing is parents want to posture in front of their friends that little Sally and Johnny are doing well, and that's why they're riding a BMW or have a business when quietly they're the ones paying for it.